Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Otto Kocic. I'm from Zurich Insurance Company. I would like to share with you some elements of the private sector approach in disaster risk reduction and also a growing partnership. You see the logos of Zurich Financial Services and the IFRC on the screen, and this will be the partnership I'm going to talk about. Okay, why is Zurich interested in disaster risk reduction? Why are we playing in this field? In the end, Zurich is an insurance company. Insurance is about risk transfer. Risk transfer is also about sharing risks. So as soon as we take over the risk of a customer, we are also interested in managing this risk in a good quality. And that is a mutual interest in the end. It's not only good for us, it's good for the customer, and I'm convinced it's even better for the customer than for us. These are the typical stages in conventional risk management. The message here is before a good risk transfer can take place, a risk management has to be done before that, otherwise it won't be successful. So you have to look for risk avoidance, risk elimination, risk mitigation, and only then you can transfer the risk. And even after transferring, after the portion you can transfer, the customer still has a huge portion of the risk to retain. And I think the proportions here, they are about correct. So it's only a small part of risk which can be transferred to the insurance. Zurich has a network of risk engineers. We are working in the global corporations sector. There, the reason why we are working there is because the premiums are high enough to send a risk engineer on site and to work together with the customer. So we have a risk network of 1,000 risk engineers in 35 countries. We are performing more than 100,000 risk assessments, and site assessments are more than 50,000. So that's almost 200 a day. And I think that's a risk management capability which is active on a day-to-day basis around the globe. And this capacity which is working here, my impression is that why not to join forces to bring these two, the disaster risk reduction and this risk engineering, risk management capabilities align. The important steps, I think these are the basics of risk management where we have common aims. I would even say it's not only about protection and preparedness, it's about resilience. That means that it's not only about asset protection, it's about bringing an organization to a resilience level. So the basic steps are the identification of the risk, where are the organizations vulnerable, what possible mitigation measures are there, develop early warning systems, and to train together with the local people on site. This is a typical cycle. Here I have the business continuity cycle, which is more or less a similar circular approach where we have to work together with the local people. Of course, in this field, the private sector faces very similar challenges as does the public sector. So the number and severity of disasters is on the rise. This is the same challenge for us all. We have to minimize the losses effectively and efficiently with limited technical, financial, and material resources. Probably this is the biggest competency of the private sector which we can bring into the game. This experience of thinking in a business way, or business way could be also efficient, effective way. Then the next thing, the harmonization of risk management programs or cultures around the globe. If we are doing this around the globe, of course, the people on site, be it in South America, be it in Europe, be it in North America, they have completely different cultures. We have to bring them on the same boat with a common risk management program. I think that's a challenge, that's a communication challenge, which is not easy to do, but which I think has to be done. Then the challenges between short-term, long-term profits, investments, how do we tackle those? Then the question of the predictions, what risks are we facing, what is the correct return period and so on. If these risks are there, what measures do be taken, the prediction versus confirming disasters, that's something I think we face common threats. Then, on top of all, the climate change, mitigation, adaptation to these challenges. I think there is a bunch of common challenges to us all. And Zurich has started a partnership together with IFRC some years ago. I think it is a very fruitful approach. Of course, there are also completely different elements of this approach. We are a professional network. The IFRC is mostly a volunteering network. The strengths are different. While the strength of the IFRC is the contact with the grassroots level, our approach is probably the more technical one, but I think both sides have to learn from each other and move on together. These pictures are from a project Zurich was involved in the Philippines, where the cost-benefit analysis was done to decide whether such a bridge is valuable or not. So I mentioned that this partnership, there is an exchange of perspectives, experiences, and I'm convinced that this is a mutual learning. For an organization as Zurich, it allows you to, for expert volunteering, that means that professional people being in an organization, they get also a different perspective. They can exchange their experience. The projects we have done in common was this impact assessment and cost-benefit analysis. I just showed the picture before. We are working on protection and resilience indicators linked to quantitative analysis. We are sharing synergies on this exchange global, local level, connecting national Red Cross societies with Zurich on the local level. And I think what is very important in the whole game is to clarify the mutual expectations, and that's the basis for a trust and for a real partnership. So that's the few insights I wanted to give you about the private sector approach and this, I think, growing partnership between private sector and the IFRC. So if you have questions, please do not hesitate to raise them. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you very much for your interesting presentation. I'm from the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation in Switzerland. And I wanted to ask you, what is the budget you are having for this collaboration? Just to have a bit an idea.
It's a difficult question. It's a thing which it is big enough it's a partnership for 5 years, and so it's from Zurich Financial Services. For Zurich Financial Services, it's a micro finance, but in normal terms, I would say it's a nice budget. Is that okay? I think that's even not the problem. In the end, that's even not the problem, if I may say it in these terms. I think it's rather the mutual gain which is more in the focus. Hopefully, yes, hopefully. It's in the end, it's part of a global corporate responsibility approach, and I think there, this anonymous corporate world profits very much from such a personality or such a tangible experience which is possible in such a partnership. We won't be the only partners for IFRC. So it is planned to, in the end, to get this kind of a platform where the one is sharing the risk maps and the other one is sharing the risk engineers. Then the third private sector organization could be then the guys who are sharing the lorries. So that would be, in the end, from my point of view, a valuable approach for this collaboration between public and private partnerships. But what is clear from my point of view, in this respect, the lead has to come from the public sector. The platform has to be set up from the public sector. We are only contributing our resources, our experience. I don't think that it will be the aim of a Zurich Financial Services to lead such a process. We are more than happy to share our resources, but the clear organization, the clear structures, the setting out the projects. Okay, we need management capabilities, we need risk assessment capability. All these questions, they have to come from the public sector or probably from a close collaboration, because there it's also a question of languages. Who knows the other organization so well that we can link these resources and capabilities? So there the partnership is required and find common grounds to share these resources. Thank you for your question. Yes, please.
Do you have any experience in the Caribbean region or in the Central American region?
No, not yet. So this partnership is 3 or 4 years old, and we have contributed to some projects with the IFRC, and in the end, it has to span the whole reach of the IFRC. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.